Aloha, all my money makers out there. Today we got a fun topic to you guys. We're going to talk about investing in education. I've just came back from this cool, amazing Maui Mastermind, and I want to share some things I've learned, how it changed me, and some fun and interesting stories about it all. And then as well as we'll talk about some other education. I am a big proponent of education in my life as well as in my business as well. So let me dive on today and talk about some fun things about growing and bettering ourselves. So let's go, you money makers. Let's make some money. Just before we get started, I'd love it if you guys could subscribe below, and that way we can reach more people and just help people make their money work for them in any different way we can. Thank you guys, and let's get started in today's content. So I just came back from Maui Mastermind with some heavy hitters. I mean, there are some amazing people, and I'm blessed to be around these kind of people. And I go through all kinds of different masterminds and other events through the year. Last year alone, I think I spent about $100,000 with flights and hotels and traveling and the event itself, and I pay for some high expensive events. My events, actually, I've done all kinds of fun things. I've been in, we were in Fortune Builders. We've tried them out. I tried Ryan Panetta's programs out. I tried some private coaching things out. And I tried some other just more online platforms and smaller stuff as well. By far that Fortune Builders was most expensive was I think $35,000. They're up to $50,000. And just a little bit of predecessor, if you guys interested in education and training and learning, it needs to be something that you're ready to commit to. So there's so much great people out there that are willing to help you and train and educate yourself, but if you're not ready to make the commitment, not really ready to make that time change, that kind of hurt of suffering of juggling your life, your job with what you have to do to grow to the next step, I wouldn't suggest any of it for you. But if you really are ready to make any kind of change in life and you're willing to put in that struggle, I was working a full-time job doing my videos late at night, then I would say make that jump into that whatever next avenue, to spend that money in that education. So let's first talk about this Maui Mastermind since it's fresh on my head, and it was an amazing event. It was put on by Taro, and guest speakers was Brandon Turner, and two of the just great human beings. And I'm just so blessed to be around these people that are willing to share and grow and give their time to me, as well as all the other people who are willing to take the time and spend money. This event wasn't cheap. It cost a lot of money, plus hotels and all that other little stuff that comes in staying in Maui at the Grand Wailea, the food and everything else. So super excited that what we be a part of it. And what the event did for me, this particular event, their event is by far my favorite event. Because it's unlike any other event where you're just going and listening to a speaker. It was an event where we got to dive into ourselves. And we got to dive into ourselves by other peers. So these are other very successful people that I got to sit in groups with, and we dove into some of our personal lives, some of our business, as well as our vision of where we want our companies and where we want our lives to be. And that was a huge takeaway. One of the big takeaways was I did another org chart of the vision of my company, the vision of where I want to be. And I talked to my future self in 2026 of where I was at in 2026. So it was very cool to see my vision and put it on paper. I'm a horrible writer, but I did more of a bullet point style. And then I actually got later on into the org chart, basically a breakdown of my company, the visionary at top. Then you have your COOs, CFOs, we have project managers, acquisition guys, marketing, bookkeeping, so many different things. We do basically a chart to put all these positions in line where your company needs to roll. And I've done one before, and it was just me. And when it was just me, and I had all these positions to fill, and now we've grown as a bigger team. We have about 6 or 7 employees, and it just makes it more exciting to grow and keep on growing as you change and grow. But this event really let me to let my guard down first, because these were other successful people. So I was able to kind of let my guard down. Another part I love to do in the event, this particular event, is we sat in groups and we shared our problems, whatever topic we were talking about, our struggles. And the other people in our group, these are groups of 5 people, didn't give, they couldn't give criticism, or they couldn't give their opinion, or like I love to do myself, but you had to ask questions to the person talking and let the person talking come up with the solutions, which was very hard sometimes, because I am guilty big time of it. And Taro, if he's listening, he's gonna laugh that I give my opinion sometimes, or my what worked for me kind of thing. I like to share. But you almost have to allow that person to come up with that solution themselves. And when you do so, when you come up with that solution for your problems yourself, it's so much greater inside. So that was a huge takeaway. It was giving me time to work on myself, look at some of the directions I want to go with our company, look at some of the things that hindering, some of the things I'm struggling with relationships too. My wife, my family. So I got to look at some of those things and how I want to better that. Me and my wife, we don't have a date night. We need to start having a date night and having times from ourselves away from our kids. So little things like that are really, really important in life, not just in business, but all of those kind of things. My biggest takeaway of it all, that I just keep on thinking, it's time to think. Being at this event, my company actually ran it, and it was fine. I didn't actually have to. I had maybe 5 to 10 hours of work, maybe if that I had to take care of. But my company ran itself, and I didn't have to be involved as much. And that gave me to think that I need more time like that to think. So when I'm building out my company and our team, it may cost me more money to hire an employee or hire a person, but of course that position needs to essentially bring either time back to me or revenue back to our company. And that's kind of the 2 goals of how I think to hire. Is it going to free up my space and free up things like that? But I also came back and I started thinking of some just things that have been filling my head. I have some Ohio houses that just been filling my head. We need to get out of these deals, and they've been filling my head. So I just need to dump it and get out of those deals. We have some permitting big time issues here in Hawaii, and it's been filling my head. And I just need to bring somebody on, and the right person, and just give it to them to do it instead of me trying to do it all. It may cost a little more, it may lose money there and here, and ultimately it'll allow me to free my head, my space, to now grow and think how to grow my company, to have creative ideas, to look at more deals, to talk to more people, whatever it may be. It'll just put my focus. And I picked that up from Brendan Turner. Actually, was talking about how he sold some of his dinky little rentals. They're great rentals. He's had them forever, no problems with them. But he just wanted a time to free his head up, to be able to think. And man, that guy is filled with just amazing ideas. Constantly, I just sit with him, and he's just got so much great ideas, and it's amazing because he has the time to think. He has a team of amazing people that allows him to come up with these great ideas. He's not worried about the little stuff, as I sometimes get just overly involved in my business. But you know what? Another big takeaway now here, sitting thinking about this whole event, was that we put in time and action and work on ourselves. Now the next step is to actually do the action, is to sit down. I sat down with Mark this morning, and we talked about some of the things we're going to go over, what we're going to implement, and things like that. So I go to all these amazing, fun education events, but if you don't put in the the action afterwards, it was kind of pointless, right? I mean, you just sat there for a week, and if you didn't do nothing with it, then it's kind of pointless. It's kind of waste of money. And that's kind of I want you guys to think about. Is there is a ton of great events, maybe places or great people to learn from in your neighborhood or your community. But if you don't put it into action or work, or if they're not providing you enough tasks or things to do, then probably is not for you. You're not ready yet, basically. And so I am actually going to start talking to our events the same way. So we're going to have every other week, we're going to have some events. We're going to have some special events. And my goal in events is to provide you guys with actionable steps to take to do things, to start growing, because the action is definitely the weakness of everyone, including myself in this business. And the action of it all, action steps, is what separates the billionaires from the millionaires to the 100,000ers or less. It's the people who take more action. The people who take extremely more action is the people who grow more in life, who do a lot more. Obviously, it's a combination of hard work, luck, and a little bit of a sprinkle of God's success all in there combined. But the action is what makes you grow. I've been in the Fortune Builder Mastermind group. It's a great group of like-minded people, very expensive. And I was signed up with probably 30, 40 people at the time. And I only know a few who continued on. And it's just because you get involved in life. So this change of education, when you start wanting to do something else, it's not just wanting to do it, but you really have to really, really want to do it when it's getting tough. And that's what I see. So many people want to do, they want to change their life, or they want to change it, but do you really, really want to do it when you figure out it's hard? We have a lot of people who I talk to, and I show them how to do it. We have interns. We've had great people, but when it gets tough, when it gets harder, when it gets boring, will you keep on doing this? Business of real estate or whatever business it may be. We've also I've done Ryan Panetta's program, and that was great. But I needed the next level in life with more structure of building a company and growth. Tried some other private coaching as well. It's just hard to find the right person fit for you. And honestly, it's not really the coach. It's you. It's me, the student, who has to put in the time, energy, and work for what they're asking of you. Are you willing to put that work into that education that you've signed up for? It takes time away from my flipping company to go do something else, to do that education program, to watch videos, to grow if that's something different you want to do. So next, let's talk about books versus education training. So a lot of this stuff you can watch on books, you can get on YouTube, you can do a lot of online education. And by all means, you should be doing it no matter where you are in life, constantly reading books, constantly growing. But that's just one avenue. A book is more of a knowledge, obviously, based. You're just going to gain knowledge. Going to events and education is just forcing you to take more action now, because you're going to be around more action takers, but it's not the ultimate action. The ultimate action is doing. So education is books. Events are putting actions into place that you need to do, and the last part is doing. That's the hardest part, is doing. So I do recommend everyone out there to keep growing, keep educating yourself. I have a business degree, I have an electrical engineering degree, I have a contractor's license, so I constantly am growing myself and constantly learning new traits, new things, and keep growing. And now we spend hundreds of thousands on all kinds of events and courses, and this year alone, we went to a multifamily, Michael Blanc's multifamily event, which was great. Limitless. We did an Arizona Mastermind with Brandon guys again. We did another or some other big event. And then here in Hawaii, we go to a bunch of other events in Hawaii that's here, smaller kind of stuff. And then we have a huge event in Las Vegas next month for Ignite, it's called. And then I'm going to BPCon in October. And that's just great networking events. So those kind of events are more for networking, more for growing your peers. You can learn little snippets of here and there, but it's not an overall, I would say, an event where you're just going to be blown away with information. More you're picking up little tricks or things that open your eyes. It's hard to take it all in all at once. It's kind of like a fire hose of information. I do go to one event. I went to that Ignite event for years now, and that's been a great event. And actually, talking about that, in the last few years, we actually do. I've spoken at Ignite, and it's about 5,000 to 6,000 people. It's a big event, and we sneak off with we go drive Ferraris and Lamborghinis and a couple Porsches, and I think I get more hanging out with those guys. Shout out to all those guys. Hanging out with them than I do in events, because now again I'm around like-minded individuals. I'm around very successful people in this business, and I too am successful. So we have a commonality now that we can share kind of our insights of the market, insights of what's working for us, what we don't like, what our struggles are. Something about being around like-minded people, you can kind of really share what you're struggling with. You wouldn't really share that with a brand new person, in this field, or you wouldn't really share what's working for you or so forth when you're trying to explain some of the basics with a brand new person. So I put myself around people that are similar to me and like-minded people, and so much so I have another group. We're going to start our pod. We have a little pod where we can talk, about our struggles and talk about what we're working with, and as well as holding each other accountable. And this is just more forms of education and growth to me. And not to mention books and constant podcasts I listen to, as well as this podcast you guys better be listening to, because I'm going to try to just cram as much as information as I can down you guys' throats and just breathe in like a fire hose and just walking away with just a fire. I want you guys to have the fire to go and do more, and be great in life, and to make more money, and to be a beacon of light for you guys that you can do, you're allowed to do, and you're able to do. You deserve the best in life. Never settle. Never just settle for being okay or mediocre. This is not a rehearsal. Life is not a rehearsal. This is you living your best life, and I want you to live your best life. So more on the whole education of it all. It's amazing to be around some great people. It's amazing to have the time to work, on myself, and to have all these different books to read. And one thing, you're always at an event and somebody shares a book that they love, as I share books that I love, and which is fun because I got way too many books I gotta keep up with. I do a lot of books on tape as well, and I listen to them in fast 1.5 most of the time. I listen to them very fast I pick up on it real quickly. So if you are having books on tape, try and listen to them really quickly. It helps you get through them fast, and your brain will just start picking them up a lot quicker. Go to these events, ask questions. Don't be that guy that's sitting in the back of the room in the corner and you're too good for the whole everybody. It's very hard. I get out of your comfort zone. I get out of my comfort zone. I hate talking to people sometimes. I hate networking sometimes. And so if you guys ever see me at an event, come up and talk to me, because I am scared crapless about talking to people. And I love talking to people, but it's very scary sometimes to walk up to random people and say, hey, how are you doing? Once you get flowing in the conversation, obviously we all have like-minded people. And that was another big takeaway of the events I was just at, was that we're all in the same kind of mindset, same struggles. A lot of us, all our struggles are exactly the same in a similarity. Um, we all the events I go to, the struggles are how do you grow a business from the person who has no employees to the person who has 15 employees is how to grow. Who do I hire? How do I hire? So building a business, growing your business is always a struggle no matter what level you are because you're just trying to do it better. You're trying to grow it and become it better. The ultimate goal in a business is to basically be able to sell your company, even if you don't sell it. But if you build a business that you can sell, that means you're taking yourself out of it, which should be the ultimate goal in any business, to build it, to be able to sell it. You don't have to sell it, but at least you built it to, a strong, healthy business. Um, with more of the education of it all, um, sorry, I was thinking about business here, and more of the education of the whole events is to really for you to take the time and to look at all your weaknesses and all your things that you can do better. Of course, you right away you focus on all your greatness and the things you're good at. So we do look at the things you're good at. Look at all the things that you're amazing at, and you're just fucking badass at, and recognize that. But then also look at your weaknesses and embrace those weaknesses and embrace those things that you can do better, and know it's okay. No one here is perfect, but the guy who figures out his weaknesses and fills those voids with the right people for those weaknesses will definitely go a lot farther than us ignoring it or saying that we can't. I can figure it out myself or whatever. So I did notice that, people who have their weaknesses embrace those weaknesses and just hire those guys into those positions. I do that myself. I find things that I'm not good at, that I may be mediocre, and I'll just put the right people in that position that are just way better than me. It does allow me to do more. It allows me to do excel what I'm good at, allows me to do my purpose in whatever aspect of my business. But yeah, well, a lot of us all have the same struggles. Of course, we have our personal lives that we all struggle with. Relationships are always, a work in progress, no matter where you are in a relationship. It does take work, so relationships are a very important part of our lives, whatever, from your relationship to your mom, to your family, to your wife. They are our identity in a sense. That's who a lot of us, that's who we're doing this kind of for, is our family and us, So that is definitely a topic that to discuss and to think about. I didn't really think about that. And then as well as your business growth, how to grow your company, how to hire, what to pay, and what positions to hire, and personalities that fit those positions. So those are key things to think about in building your company and how to build it. We'll do another podcast about how to build a company and some of the steps it takes and some of the positions that I've hired. But today, the real topic is investing in education, and education is extremely important. And don't put it off on the side. Don't think about doing it later. Take the time from your Friday night of partying to go watch, go to a networking meeting or go to watch amazing YouTube or Zoom call or something like that to really help boost yourself. The more you educate yourself, the more you can grow. The more you can kind of do more in life. If you put the time in now, it just gives you the time later and freedom to do less, ultimately. So that's exciting to know about. If you guys have any other education that you guys are interested in, let me know. I've done some other stuff, smaller stuff. I've seen some insights, some other education people out there, as well as us. We are going to start our own education platform here shortly. we just started talking about it, and it's something I've actually had, but I've never promoted before. And it's just going to start our own education for flipping, for higher end flips, how to flip. When I first started flipping, there was no one that taught, no one in Hawaii that was scaling Hawaii. No one was really doing a lot at the time when I first started. Somebody later on came in, but he left. But I never had that mentor to look up into here in Hawaii, with somebody scaling this business of if you can scale, if you can do more, how to start and where to start. So I'll share some of my experiences, some of my strengths, and some of my insight into the Hawaii market, as well as some high-end markets across the U.S. I can share a lot of insight on all of that I've learned from my failures, and that's all it is. I'm going to pass my failures that I've learned from to you guys, and that's what education is. Sometimes education is failing and figuring it out and moving past that failure and not doing it again. That's sometimes how we educate ourselves. I remember at the beginning, I didn't know what escrow was. I didn't know what real estate terms and all that stuff were, and I educated my self by going through the process. So education is sometimes more than anything other than action. And action, as we keep on talking about here, is definitely the best learning part of it all. And I keep on reiterating the word action in this podcast right now, because action is the ultimate inverse of education. We learn math from a teacher, but then they make us practice, take the action over and over. We learn 1 + 1 = 2 and 2 + 2, but we have to keep on writing it out. We have to keep on doing it until we finally get it. And that's what the action is. So the same happens in business, is we keep on learning these steps to business, and we have to keep on doing those steps into the next steps and the harder steps. And that's what growth of business to me it becomes. One, you become learning these new different traits, different hats. Still to this day, I have, man of many hats. Like, I'm not an expert by far, but I have to have many hats. We're doing our podcast right now and understanding some of the basics of how to do a podcast and do social media, or talking to my bookkeeper about some of the tax things. He specializes in that, but we can have some legit conversations because I have that hat of bookkeeping, of understanding my books. Talking to Ella just now about marketing and understanding all the different platforms of building a web page and digital marketing and some of those things. So, and then talking about flips and real estate and construction, you almost have to be well versed in so many different hats, and you got to pick it up real fast, and you got to learn real quick in this business to really succeed. And you really gotta, for me, I really gotta take that action right away. Of sometimes I don't know, but the only way for me to figure it out is to just go for it and to learn and just jump on in. If you guys don't know me, but I am probably I think I'm self-deemed to some others as the biggest risk taker in the business, because I take action, and I take very educated risk, but I really want to push my comfort zones and try out bigger and new things, and I have a great kind of systems in place to really be risk adverse. We do larger flips, and we're very comfortable with that now because we have a lot of systems in place to mitigate any kind of risk. When we flip a house, we often have different systems in place. We can flip it, we can wholesale it, we can wholesale it, we can keep it as a rental. So we have different systems in place to mitigate risk. So I'm a big proponent of taking risk, but having systems in place to mitigate your risk, and to, obviously you want to be all right on everything you do. So I think that's one of the big proponents that we use to keep growing in this business, is to take bigger risk and do bigger deals and do more deals. But we have systems in place. We started raising capital instead of using our own funds. This was back in the day, and now you hear everyone talking about this. But we raise capital from investors, as we still do to this day, instead of using our own funds, which allowed us to do more, take less risk, because we weren't we had our funds back. We weren't all into one deal. We could cover a deal. It has allowed us to mitigate the risk in a lot differently. I can get into that real differently. Because I actually get that question a lot. How come we don't use all our capital to just do one or two deals? Allows us to do 17, I think we have flips going in Hawaii right now. So it allows us to mitigate the risk from something that we did a long time ago when we started raising with investors and so forth. So educate yourself in how to grow, to how to learn. Educate yourself constantly throughout the days, and even every day, every night, if you can. The Instagram and TikTok videos I watch are all education stuff. I mean, not too much funny, stupid stuff, but the algorithm of it, I think, picks it up that I like education, and that's what my algorithm of, I know they hear me. I know the iPhone hears me probably right now. It's going to show me some stuff. But that's what the kind of stuff I love to motivate myself. And I've always been a big fan of self-help books myself. That's just kind of what I love reading and love growing and educating myself. Is if you ever have a conversation with me and you have a business, I will ask you 100 questions about your business, because I just want to learn. I just want to know how your business works, how your structure is, how you grow and so forth. I just love to learn about people's business, more so of their companies and how they grow, and so I can apply it to mine. I can pick out what worked for them and what may work for mine. So keep educating yourself and keep pushing. Now for the investor insight. What education investment gave me the most benefit is the question I got so far this week. Now for the investor insight. The question we got was, what education investment gave me the most benefit? That's a really, really hard question for me to just think about right now, because there have been so many different levels of education that I have really gained knowledge from and really helped me to step to the next level. So it's hard to pinpoint one education. The Fortune Builders was great for the beginner. It helps you teach some of the basics and really helped with all the basic kind of stuff about the business. Then the Growth Avenue was, I had a private coach, would help me scale and grow. I've hired people to come into my business and help me grow. So those have been great steps to help me grow. This mastermind I'm going with the Maui Mastermind has been amazing to help me really grow personally as well as businesses. So there's not one insight. I think the best education I've ever invested in was to do it, was to do a flip. I was scared crapless, and I did a deal that I was scared of, and that was the best education, was doing something that was out of my comfort zone, was just being a part of the deal. So I learned more by being hands-on, is I guess the best education I can see. I partnered with somebody on that deal. I made it into a JV because I learned from somebody who has been there and done that. So partner on your first deal if you can, or you're going to buy a house, partner with a family or relative to go buy a house, or you want to scale your business, pay for somebody who's an expert in your business to come in, pay for a consultant or so forth. Um, the best place for me to learn is to learn from by doing, by bringing in somebody who's better than me, being around somebody that knows more than me. Um, and constantly, I love that. Often I'm in a room now, and I might be the one sharing some of my insight. Um, so it's uh, I like to be in a room where I'm not not the smartest one in the room, as I was just in Maui Mastermind and some amazing people. And one more thing, what I've learned from those courses and what I think of the pay to play, to experience or to buy relationships. I may be paying for a relationship. I may be paying to get into these rooms with these people. Is it worth it to me? 100% it's worth it to me. Um, I honestly think my friends I've gotten from these mastermind, I'm I'm 10 times closer than I would be if we were just to be hanging out, as a regular people for like a week to, a week or a couple weeks together. I think I got more close with all these people in that short of time because one, we got vulnerable. We all broke down our emotions. Two, we were constantly all hanging together. Three, we all got the same drive. We all got the same um, entrepreneurship, business mindship. Almost stems like why our problems are all very similar. And I like to be around people that are willing to pay for their education because that means that we're all like-minded in a sense. So the pay to play is worth it to me to buy relationships with great other people because they are also buying their relationships with me as well. It's a two-way street. And that I know they're truly dedicated in their growth as well as I'm truly dedicated in my growth as well. So it just puts our mindsets that's that similarity. There's a lot said to be in a room with people with like-minded. Very like-minded. The growth you can exceed is tremendous compared to being on with people with different mindsets, different paths in life, different likes. I like real estate. Somebody else might like, I don't know, painting, and we might have different mindsets of it all. So, pay to play is definitely worth it if you're willing to pay. So stay tuned. And now, the deal of the week. So this is the fun part where we get to talk about the deals we work on. We have some amazing flips going on right now, and I'm truly blessed by all the investors who love partnering and being with us on these deals. We've actually had a big investor come in and fund a lot of our deals. We're pretty strongly funded. Now we're kind of building a list of soft commitments, so anyone interested in being a part of our deal, we're going to kind of build a list now, and that way, instead of having a deal and putting it out there and trying to wait last minute to fund a deal, need to be a little more strategic about it. So if you guys are interested in being a part of our deals, we're going to look for some soft commitments, and as the deals come up, we're going to put it out to you guys because now we got a lot more investors involved. We do have our large deal commercial property that I locked up just last week for sure now, and now we got to start building up building up that deal. So it's a great shopping center. It's an Office Max is a primary tenant in the building, and we are now raising $1.5 million. We have to raise for that, and we're super excited about the deal. It is on paper, it's 11 cap. 11 cap, if you know anything in real estate, 11 cap's amazing. And I've now done some huge due diligence on the deal, and oh my gosh, I've been reading all these leases and calling tenants and so much fun stuff. I love looking at it all. Love looking at the financials. I love numbers. So super excited about that. Now we're going to structure this deal a little separately. So this is more for anyone who has a high appetite of taxes, tax savings. If you make a lot of money, you need the tax appetite. So on a fix and flip, generally we pay a higher interest rate of 12%, and the money's very back to you quickly, 6 months to a year. On this particular deal, lower interest rate but higher tax. You get the tax incentives of the deal. and you're getting the tax savings through bonus depreciation that will be given to all our partners. These will be partners on the deal. We're going to buy it together as partners. It is a longer term of the deal. Should be roughly 3 years on this deal to generate before we can actually refinance the whole shopping center and pay back our investors as well. To get all our money out is the deal. So message me, Let's Just Talk Store, and then if you'd like to be on our list, we're gonna do some soft commitments, kind of look at building a commitment of investors as well. And just call me if you want to talk about investing in deals and making your money work. I'd love to talk to you about it and just open you up some different ideas and different thought processes of it all. And really what it is being different from what we're taught as a kid. The society taught us to save our money and to have no debt, to have no bills. That's not actuality true with the rich people I'm around. And the rich people I'm around is to make your money work for you, is to put your money to work for you and to save taxes. That's two big goals I see. You wouldn't believe some of these big heavy hitters, invest in some of our deals because they're very diversified. They're in our deals and they have these mega deals going on, and they're their deals as well as we're in our deals, and we're diversifying, trying other deals as well as ours, to check it out and see what makes our money work best for us. The more passive we can make it to us, the better it is. So check out that and stay tuned. Check out indarhawaii.com, and you can kind of invest with us through our landing page, and it'll take you to our portal and to see our office deal that's on there right now in Janesville, Wisconsin. So stay tuned, check it out, and follow me for more. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us today. Make sure you subscribe below and see our upcoming investment opportunities, and leave us an honest review. You can find us more on social media at Indar Hawaii on all our social media. So check out Indar Hawaii on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Facebook, indarhawaii.com. You can find our investor platform, Twitter. We're on every platform, and we'd love for you guys to get on there and just comment and ask me some questions. I will give you 100% my best possible advice of what I've learned. So ask me, message me privately if you want to be very private. I take 30 minutes in the morning to answer all those questions I get in my DMs from Instagram to Facebook, as well as every platform there is. And then as well as Lahaina, our girl behind the scenes, she's also sending me any other messages I may have missed. So really love the opportunity to talk to you guys, and just leave some reviews and comments, and please like our YouTube page, so help this grow so we can start helping other people's share our experience, our message to people. So thank you guys, have a great day, and aloha.